Welcome back to the 90 Podcast. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal have released their 25-man squad for the UEFA Champions League this campaign. The players out, the squad is out. Are Arsenal ready for the UEFA Champions League? The big question we're answering on this one. And of course, according to the bookmakers, Arsenal are among the 5 clubs that are favorites to win the UEFA Champions League this campaign. There is a big question. Are Arsenal really big favorites for the UEFA Champions League this campaign? Are Arsenal really ready to go all the way until June in order to win it? Can Arsenal go all the way until the final? That's the big question. Do Arsenal have the prerequisites to get into the contention with the big boys and see them through? To answer that question, we're going to be looking at a couple of factors, a couple of attributes in this Arsenal side, including squad depth, the manager, the quality of Mikel Arteta as the manager. Is he a top manager? Is he a top beans manager? And can he actually go against the likes of Bayern, against the likes of Madrid, against the likes of Inter Milan and actually come out on top? We'll be looking at the quality of the side and also the ambition in this Arsenal side. Of course, we have seen a lot of ambition from Arsenal and Mikel Arteta in the market, signing the likes of Declan Rice, going for the likes of Alexander Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. I mean, you could argue there is enough ambition right now at Arsenal to take them through. But the big question is that ambition really enough to win the UEFA Champions League? Let's get this video to 100 likes and let's dive into the competition. So Mikel Arteta today has released a 25-man squad just to confirm, again, reiterating what Arsenal have done. They have also released a couple of players that will be playing in the UCL that are also not professional. So the players that will be featuring in the UCL but are homegrown players or academy products as well. But the big question for me, as Arsenal release their 25-man squad, as Arsenal go out there to announce to the world, we are back in the Champions League after 6 years and this is our squad, this is our team that is going to be competing this campaign. Are Arsenal really ready? And are they favorites? So let's start off with the squad depth. I think Mikel Arteta, when he came in 2019 in December, he was tasked with 2 things. One was to improve the general quality and general environment at Arsenal, which he has actually done very positively and very successfully. You look at the connection between Arsenal and their fans. You look at the connection between the top management, the senior management, and the overall staff. It's absolutely amazing. You could actually argue that Arsenal have the best run club in London. I mean, you look at Tottenham Hotspur, you look at Chelsea, and you look at Arsenal, and you look at all these other clubs. Arsenal could be the best run club in London. Since Mikel Arteta coming in 2019, so much has changed. The policy, the discipline, and all that, right? But one thing Mikel Arteta has done, and this is the second thing, is squad building. He's actually built a squad at Arsenal that every single team would love to have right now in the Premier League and potentially or probably in the Champions League. Arsenal's squad right now is worth $1 billion. Now, when we say Arsenal worth $1 billion, we are talking Manchester City levels. We are talking probably, potentially PSG levels. Even Real Madrid, even Barcelona right now do not have a squad worth the value of Arsenal's. So look at the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Martin Odegaard, William Saliba. That Arsenal squad, according to the transfer market website, is worth £1 billion. And that is actually going to be very, very key when it comes to Arsenal and their ambition, because when you have squad worth $1 billion, it's very different from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when Arsenal had a squad worth maybe 200 million, maybe 100 million. You know, it was a light squad. It was a squad not worthy of competing at the big stage with the big boys on the big table. So for me, in terms of squad depth, Arsenal have done well. Mikel Arteta's looked at going for 2 players per position. You look at David Raya and Aaron Ramsdale. There are not very many teams that have 2 quality goalkeepers in their squad. You look at Benjamin White, William Saliba, Jakub Kiwior, Gabriel Magalhaes, the centre backs and the full backs. I think Arsenal have also done a very good job in terms of accumulating at least 2 players per position. Although Julian Timber is injured, who actually makes the dynamics even a little bit interesting and better, I think Arsenal will actually go through this period without Julian Timber. The midfield is sorted, of course. Jorginho, Rice, Thomas Partey, Odegaard, Fabio Vieira and Kai Havertz. I still think Arsenal will need a creator in there. Arsenal might need at least one more midfielder, but that could be for the future. And maybe the only question comes in on the right-hand side and also on the centre forwards. Do Arsenal have enough quality in terms of the centre forwards? Do Arsenal have enough quality on the right-hand side? If Saka is injured, if Saka is not available, if Saka is off form, do they have another extra player to actually give them that kind of quality a player like Bukayo Saka gives you? Maybe that's where the question is. So for me, in terms of squad depth, Arsenal is among the top 10 clubs in the UEFA Champions League that have registered a very good squad, but also a deep enough squad. Without Thomas Partey, Declan Rice will actually be there. And I think Declan Rice as a £100 million signing will overpower as many midfields as we know. I don't think Sevilla's midfield has a player that compares to Rice. I don't think PSV have either. And I also don't think FC Lens have a player that compares to Declan Rice in midfield. So squad depth, I think Arsenal tick that, and I will give them 100%. But the next one is where Arsenal have to ask a big question of themselves. And that is the quality of the manager, the quality of Mikel Arteta. Now, the mindset of Mikel Arteta as a person and the quality of Arteta as a leader are undisputed. I would even go ahead and say we have not seen such qualities at Arsenal ever since Arsene Wenger left. We've not seen a manager with such qualities, a manager who is a no-nonsense manager, a disciplinarian, and a manager who sticks to his word. When he says, I want everyone to be at training or in training by 7. It is 7, and you will have to be punished if you don't arrive by 7. So Mikel Arteta is a huge factor in Arsenal going back to the UCL. Is a huge factor in Arsenal being the club that we know they are right now. But is he top manager? Is he Carlo Ancelotti? Is he Zinedine Zidane? Is he the couple of names we've got to talk about here, and the couple of names we will talk about here, the likes of Unai Emery. It's not in the UEFA Champions League, but he's a top draw manager, in my opinion, right? Erik ten Hag, top draw manager. Is Mikel Arteta a top draw manager? This is what I would say. I think the mold that makes Mikel Arteta is the same mold that makes top draw managers. Okay, so when I look at PSG, and the manager there, and I look at Bayern and the manager there in Thomas Tuchel, and I look at Barcelona and the manager there in Xavi, I think Mikel Arteta can be in that pool. He's not there yet, and that might actually draw Arsenal a little bit back. I don't think Mikel Arteta is there yet. I don't think he's a top draw manager yet. But I think he will become a top draw manager. And one of the things that will actually make him a top draw manager is participation in the UEFA Champions League and participating and challenging at the very topmost level. That is what Mikel Arteta is missing, and that is what he is lacking at the moment. So, point number 2, do they have a top manager, Arsenal? They do not have a top manager, but they have a prodigy that can actually become top class. So can Arsenal really go all the way to win it? They can, but I don't think it will depend on the brilliance of Mikel Arteta. It might depend more on the brilliance of the squad as compared to the brilliance of the manager here. Now, Arsenal mentality monsters. One thing we've seen in the UEFA Champions League, you look at Liverpool, you look at Madrid, you look at Barcelona, you've got to be mentality monsters. It is not over until it is over. The mentality of this Arsenal side is questionable. Are Arsenal really perennial bottlers? Are Arsenal the team that you cannot trust when it comes to winning silverware? Are Arsenal the team that will do everything right apart from the last few moments, apart from winning silverware? At the moment, the answer is yes. Arsenal have bottled a couple of leads in the league for a very long time. And Arsenal have shown a very feeble mentality, a very weak mentality when it came to the UEFA Champions League, when it came to representing on the big stage. So will Arsenal this time be different? I think they will. Why? Arsenal have won 19 games within stoppage time since 2019 December, when Mikel Arteta was appointed as manager of this project. That shows you that this Arsenal side has drastically changed from the Arsenal we knew of if it's 70 minutes and Arsenal are trailing, it's game over. To a new Arsenal where it is not over before the final whistle blows. Obviously, Arsenal will have to win games a little bit earlier, a little bit more comfortable. I think it's much safer, it's much better for you to win games earlier than later. I don't see why you have to wait until the 95th minute to win a game at the Emirates Stadium. But it will be crucial. There are games where you're going to trail 2-0 at the Bernabeu, right? And then you have to come to the Emirates Stadium and you will be leading by 3-0. Can you keep that very important clean sheet? Can you turn the result around against a team like Real Madrid with a top draw manager, world-class players, and a world-class fan base as well? So it's going to be very key, the kind of mentality monsters Arsenal are, and the kind of mentality monsters Arsenal want to be or are willing to be in the UEFA Champions League this campaign. But apart from the mentality, apart from Arsenal being having that do or die mindset, do they have the quality? Yes, but they do have the squad depth. They do have a huge number of players, and it means you could replace every player like for like. But is the quality there? Do Arsenal really have that kind of quality that you go, wow, this and this and this player is world class? Now, the one thing we've seen with the UEFA Champions League recently, it has been won by one of the best institutions in football, but also one of the best institutions when it comes to recruitment and ensuring longevity of players. That is Real Madrid. So look at the Real Madrid side that has been dominating the UCL. Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Karim Benzema, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Thibaut Courtois, Sergio Ramos. The quality of the players I've just talked about is world class. There is not a single player, apart from Rodrigo probably, there is not a single player at that Real Madrid side that has been dominating the UCL that I would say is not world class at the moment. Every single time Man United have gone to Madrid and they've signed Rafa Varane and they've signed Casemiro, we've seen the quality of these players transform Manchester United, and they're a very, very good example. So do Arsenal have that extra quality? Do they have that enough quality to go and compete with quality? This is where the question is actually, because I think Arsenal have one or two world-class players, and I don't think you have to have world-class players to win it. You just have to have that quality. So Chelsea have won it before with Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, N'Golo Conte. But you look at the quality of that team. You look at the quality of Thiago Silva. You look at the quality of Reece James. You look at the quality of Mason Mount then. You look at the quality of players like Kai Havertz then. Quality was there. So I'm going to say Arsenal have the quality to actually go and put in a very good shift in the UEFA Champions League this season. I don't see why. I just don't see why Arsenal will be written off in terms of quality. Odegaard is a classy player. Bukayo Saka is going to be tested, but he's still one of the best wingers in the Premier League, at least right wingers in the Premier League. Gabriel Martinelli is developing well. Leandro Trossard from the bench is also another very good option. And players like Raya, Ramsdale, I think the quality is there. Arsenal really do have the quality in this squad. Finally, it is the ambition, and this is one of the points, this is one of the key points that has been beating Arsenal over the years. Ambition. Are Arsenal ambitious enough? Because for you to win the greatest at club level, you've got to be ambitious and you've got to be intentional. You don't win. I don't think you win the Champions League by chance. FC Porto did win it by chance. I think that was in 2000, right? But you look at the other clubs that have actually won the UEFA Champions League, it is intended. You look at Liverpool, they have played 3 finals in the last 10 years, and they've won one of them. And you look at that Liverpool squad that have actually won the UEFA Champions League. Van Dijk, 70 plus million. Alisson, 70 plus million. Mo Salah, magnificent. Mane, magnificent. Roberto Firmino, magnificent. So you've got to understand that winning the UCL is for the ambitious. It's not a walk in the park. It's nowhere near a walk in the park. It's nowhere near coming from a slumber and then you walk away with it and then you run away with it. It's why we've seen Leicester City win the Premier League by running away with it, but we've not seen a single Champions League side lift it by running away with it like in so many years. So for me, do Arsenal have the ambition? I don't know. I cannot answer that. I really cannot answer that. And that answer is going to be answered by how do Arsenal approach games and, Mikel Arteta's starting 11, squad selection, starting 11 selection, and how do Arsenal win games? How do Arsenal generally believe within matches in the UEFA Champions League? So are Arsenal favourites to win the UCL? In my opinion, I think they're in the top 5 clubs you have to watch. You're going to choose a winner for the UCL this campaign. Really. Are Arsenal ready? According to the boxes that I've just drawn and just ticked, Arsenal are ready for the UEFA Champions League. Welcome back.